Today, like the title says, I want to talk to y'all about these different people that's representing the black male perspective, so to speak. Everybody's familiar with the names in the title. People are familiar with Tommy Sotomayor. People are familiar with Kevin Samuels. People are familiar with the manosphere, yada, yada, yada. The extremes that dudes feel when they're talking about these black women, all right? Now, before I go really off into it, I want people to know, even the way I put at people's names or whatever, if they come across this video, I'm not trying to be contentious. I'm not trying to set it off. I'm not trying to even do anything other than what I used to do, which is try to give a neutral commentary about what I see going on. One, I relate to it. I'm a black man. Two, I've been in the dating pool. Three, I have opinions about what's going on in these interpersonal relationships between the genders. So I just want to be clear on that. This is not a play for clout. This is not none of that. This is just me getting back to what I used to do and how I used to do my show. So if you're becoming familiar with me now, don't misinterpret it or whatever. I've been off the path for a little while because of like personal crap, trolling and nonsense. So this is me just trying to get back to form. All right. So I apologize now for any hiccups, hesitations, or any flaws in my presentation. Hopefully I'll work it out as time goes. All right. So again, I'm not shaking the pom-poms, holding the jock up, or running behind, trying to ride on the coattails. None of that. I'm me. I've been on here for a minute. Some people are familiar with me, whatever. All right. The first thing that I want to bring up is this thing that I've seen Tommy Sotomayor on lately. Again, I'm not trying to be contentious. I'm only being straight up. Lately, I've been seeing Tommy talking about this Kevin Samuels dude. You can make a lot of assumptions, you know what I mean, about why he's doing it, how he's going at it, the things he's talking about, the things he's trying to point out, the whole comparison competition thing or whatever. You can talk about that all day. The same way I'm doing this, it could be seen a million different ways. So I'm not going to make any assumptions on that. I'm only going to speak on something that I heard him say because I feel something personal about it. I've heard Tommy Sotomayor state the claim that Kevin Samuels took some elements from his shtick, from his show, from the way he does his thing, right? People who are familiar with me already know where I'm going with this. People who not, there's a lot of sideline names that associate to Tommy Sotomayor. Tasha K, I'm going to say that name, not her particularly. I can't remember the name of the guy that was on her show, but it was somebody who used to be associated with Tommy Sotomayor and was rocking a show that Tommy created, as well as Zone, the guy out there in Zone Talks Live, the guy that's out there in Canada. There's a few others, but I'll just throw those two people in the mix. Well, they was on a show called The You Dig. The Tommy Sotomayor is The You Dig, right? Well, Tommy Sotomayor took that whole vibe from me and created a whole show around it. And then not only did he like scoff at me, mock me, and then like ridicule me publicly, he admitted that he did it and there's nothing that I could do about it. I find it ironic that now he's online complaining about somebody took something from him. That's just one thing. I'm not going to talk about the different t-shirt concepts and all that other stuff. There's a whole lot of things that Tommy just straight blatantly took from me and bragged about taking it, and bragged about being in a position where he had a bigger name and a bigger following than me, and I couldn't do nothing about it. Okay, so moving forward, when I listen to a dude like Tommy Sotomayor, again, I'm not trying to be like insulting or nothing like that, but let's be completely honest. The way this dude, now I'm gonna get to him, the way this dude Kevin Samuels does his thing and the way Tommy Sotomayor does his thing, it's nowhere near the same. Not even the same vibe, nowhere in the same ballpark. I'm talking about from the minute I became aware of this Kevin Samuels cat and the minute I became aware of this Tommy, from beginning, not the same. Message, not the same. Vibe, not the same. Even the phrases that he says this dude picked up from him or whatever, it's not even used, like it's used in almost a similar context or whatever, but the person saying it gives it a different energy. to be completely honest. So to like try to make a comparison because you was just talking about black women, yeah. Although my man talks in a negative light about black women or whatever, it's in a different vibe. It's just a different context. Now again, I'm not the smartest person in the world. I'm not the brightest crayon in the box, but this seems more like a person fearing losing some attention, losing some traction. Now, I'll admit that Kevin Samuels kind of took off. He's already bypassed this dude. He's already making the rounds. He's already plugging, in with all these other bigger names or whatever. Like something that Tommy was trying to do, and it seemed like it fizzled out every time he got in tune with these people. Like he didn't know how to hold it, and then he got back on his show to his audience and dogged people out. Now I've said this over and over and over for the longest time. Like, you know what? I won't even do the I told you so. I just don't agree with my man saying that somebody copied his shtick. I just don't agree with it. Number one, because of his our past, the history between us, and things that I've seen him do to other people. Yeah. Even this whole Tommy Sotomayor's whole platform is a pastiche. He basically stole his idea from Sergeant Willie Pete. So him saying that he was doing something original is like, it just blows my mind. It completely blows my mind. All right, now I want to move on to this Kevin Samuels dude. And again, it's not about tearing people down, none of that. Now, I've said once before, I mentioned something that I peeped about him sitting with his blazer, with his sport coat buttoned up. And I'm like, anybody that knows anything about dress, you know what I mean, about fashion, know that it's one, improper to sit with a blazer buttoned up. That's not right, right? And if you do only have one button, that's the first thing. Second, he has a carefully manufactured image, carefully constructed, carefully shaped, you know what I mean, just too primped. You feel me? Carrying yourself in a dignified manner, presenting, always being presentable, always looking your best, you know what I mean? I would be a fool if I sat here and spoke against that, so I'm not even talking about that. Taking pride in your appearance is something completely different. I'm not ever talking about that. Again, I'm not a young buck. I'm 50. I've been around a few corners. So when I look at a dude like this, again, when you look at a cat that comes across the way he comes across, again, with his settings, the way he presents himself, the way he talks and all of that, and then you look at me, right, it's easy to write me off, and I accept that. I want to be innocuous. I want to be, like, unnoticeable. I want to be able to blend in. That's because of what I come from. I don't come from a background or a walk of life that I have to present myself that way. Yeah, because I believe that whole look is like I said, it's manufactured, and there's no other way to put it. It's just a manufactured image, you know. Again, during my lifetime, I went through different phases. You know what I mean? I mean, like the residential phase. Some people don't understand this. When you start caring about the area that you live in, your furnishings. You know what I mean? I want to live in a loft. I want to live in a condo. I want to live, in this area or whatever. I want to get all IKEA furniture. I want all Ethan Allen furniture. I want a minimalist look. I want a minimalist look. Blah blah blah. Went through that. I went through the phase when I was trying to, excuse me, keep in tune with the latest fashion trends according to like GQ and Condé Nast and all these different like publications that showed the finer things. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was in high school trying to wear Tag Heuer watches and then go up from there. You know what I mean? Just knowing the difference between loafers and espadrilles and having an eighth of an inch cuff on your pants, and having the right, you know what I'm saying, having your trousers fall on your shoes the right way, just tailor clothes. And I went through that entire phase, and it just made me realize that I was really being really pretentious. You know what I mean? Haircuts every 3 days and all that other crap, right? And I could cut hair, you know what I mean? But I'm sitting up because I needed to be primped a certain way. You know what I mean? When I went through my pretty boy phase, this is what I call it, right? Living on the north side of Chicago, right there down the street from Evanston, you know, it was all about prestige. You know what I mean? The people that I dated, you know what I mean, their jobs and all that other crap, you know what I mean, I tried to take credit for. You know what I mean? That was a representation of who I was and the circles that I messed around with. Like my girl right now is a high-ranking member of the AKA and blah, blah, blah. And that always comes with an extra shine of light. Oh, that's the type of woman that you're dealing with. But I'm going to get into that in a minute. So when I look at a person with that carefully crafted image, having done it, I know what it is. I know what it is to pick out certain clothes for that look because I've done it. I know which stores to go to get that look because I've done it. And I know why you do that look. Again, I'm 50. So I'm at the point now where, like, what's going on in the world and images, illusions, prestige, just all of the things that people go through to try to manipulate situations or influence the public so that they can move a little bit easier. I've transcended that, believe it or not. Any setting that I go into, I'm a star. I'm a chameleon. So when I look at somebody who's pushing off that image, I'm like, that's a Monday. It's not real. You feel me? It's not real. Being accustomed to wearing finer garments and stuff like that, having nicer furniture and all of that, is two things to it. It goes along with, one, your taste, and two, also how it appears to other people. You feel me? Then it comes down to like budget and all that, but that's a whole nother video. So I'm just saying all of the things that I said real plain and simple. So if in case dude hears this, I see you, bro. I see you. Period. I see you. Don't worry about a former drug dealing gang member, degenerate dropout like me. Don't worry about me. I'm not in your league, bro. I'm nobody. You're the man. So you got him, and then you got this Angryman dude, right? Angryman. Well, he completely bit my whole vibe. I'm just not even gonna front. I tried not to say nothing, but like him, Minister JAP, Ringo for life, all these cats know me. Actually, Minister JAP reached out to me at one time to like have me get down with their collective. I want to say around 2015, right before we moved in the house. I want to say 2015, 2016. And I was like, nah, fuck you. Pardon my expression, but that's what I said. Nah, I'm cool. No thanks. For the longest time on YouTube, I've been really opposed to like this mass marketing of angst, anger, negativity. It's one thing to get on and talk about your bad past experiences and relationships and breakups and you know, the things that you realize in hindsight and blah blah blah. That's cool, right? But it's way too many of you bitter fake dudes online yapping just because somebody will listen to it. I'm being 100% straight up. It's kind of irritating. If it ain't Angryman, it's O'Shea Jackson. If it ain't him, it's Super Groomed Kevin. If it ain't him, it's he don't know if he's black or white as Tommy. Come on, man. It's insanity. And everybody on here just going ham about the black woman and the black woman and the black woman. Now again, don't get it confused. I got a book named Why We Call You Bitch. So don't think this is a whole thing about I'm championing some campaign on some liberal crap for these broads. Because I'm the first one to say, man, black women are the hell insane. I would have said the F, but I'm trying to clean up my language. A lot of them ain't right. We know that. You feel me? So when I hear a whole bunch of dudes like really trying to absolve themselves of any responsibility in the situations they complaining about, it's all about the chicks. It's just, it comes across like a group of pansies just whining. You know what I mean? Now, maybe that's just me, but a lot of this comes from entitlement. That's all it is. A bunch of entitled, whining cornballs mad because they can't get their way when these chicks is going through their thing. And they're supposed to be the leaders of the households, the relationships, society. Like, this is what we're looking at. It's all about how you look, prestige, and what a woman has to offer you. Like, is this for real? Where in the hell are these dudes coming from? Remember, I'm an ex-drug dealing street thug, or whatever y'all want to call me. I'm something that y'all write off because I'm not trying to sell my life on my sleeves. I don't come with like a big long scroll of all my accomplishments. You know, basically that's what you're doing with how you dress, what you drive, and how you present yourself. That's really all it is. Even when you hear a person who's over articulate, because there's a such thing. You know, when people go out of their way to try to make sure they're projecting an image of refined success. Yeah, whatever. Again, I've been around some corners, so I'm to the point now. I've done been everything else, so all I got to do is be me now. You feel me? A lot of y'all don't get it. These dudes online running their mouth about these different situations are really based on their own personal circumstances, and they're not taking that into account when they start yapping to the audience. I've been saying for the longest time, you need to take responsibility for your popularity. Don't just sit up because you have an opportunity to say something and just run your mouth. Man, internalize what you're saying. That's for all of them. They never do. So a person like me come along, whatever, and I'm just standing on the fringes like, man, it's not a case of if I was them, I would. Because one, I don't want to do what you do. All of it is some culture vulture shit. At the end of the day, y'all all trying to profit off something generally we all feel. You're not looking for no solutions. You just want a bunch of people saying, yeah! And at the end of the day, when you get everybody all charged up, you put a battery in everybody back, you get all the dudes wound up at all the women, what you think is going to happen other than we're going to just let our own little circle die off? If you still keep trying to isolate, you keep trying to do this social structuring, you try to make everybody the same. Why would anybody else want to deal with anybody else? You understand what I'm saying? There is no variety. Y'all not taking nothing in. If everybody's an intellectual, what about all the mechanically inclined? How are we going to build anything? If everybody mechanically inclined, what about the artists? How are we going to, you know what I'm saying, enjoy our sensory pleasures? What's going to entertain us? You feel me? If everybody want to be the hoity-toity, bougie, pinky up in the air, who's going to get dirty and do the work? We need every level of what we got going on, but y'all all trying to make it either one side or the other, and that's because you ain't been nowhere else. You lames walk down one road thinking that, you know, you've been around the world and ain't took no damn detours. You ain't went off on no other paths, but you think you've seen everything.